10,000 years across the Baltic Sea. Boundaries. Manor estates across the Baltic Sea, an important driving force for cultural and material growth in the region. Development that became increasingly globalized over the years. In a globalized world, sugar played a leading role, and in the Baltic Sea region, the importance of sugar would only increase as the centuries passed. But we begin in the 1700s, when sugar became popular in earnest, but where it was particularly the rich and the nobility who could enjoy its sweet taste. Sugar is made from sugar cane. Europeans became familiar with this crop during the Crusades in the Middle Ages, and subsequently took it with them when they colonized the Caribbean region and South America. Millions of Africans were enslaved to do the back-breaking work in the sugar cane fields. In the 1700s, many estate owners in both Denmark and northern Germany invested in and earned huge sums of money from the sugar trade. Some estate owners even owned the sugar cane plantations themselves. Ernst Schimmelmann, and the Lolland agricultural reformer and best friend of C.D.F. Reventlow, was the biggest slave owner in the entire Caribbean. He owned more than 1,000 human beings. At the same time, however, he was deeply committed to the ideals of freedom and was responsible for Denmark's abolition of its slave trade from Africa to America in 1792. Similarly, his sister Julie von Reventlow spoke out passionately against slavery while living a stately life at the Emkendorf estate in Holstein on money her father had earned from slavery. Ideals and practice did not always go hand in hand, but the history of sugar around the Baltic Sea was only in its humble beginnings. The discovery of how to extract sugar from the sugar beets in the 1800s made it possible to phase out sugar cane imports from the colonies. Now, the sugar would be produced domestically. The topsoil of Holstein and Lolland was ideal for cultivating sugar beets, and venture capital was available at the manor estates. Many manor estates made a lot of money from the sugar adventure. On Lolland, German supervisors ensured that Polish beet workers came to work the fields during the sugar beet season. They were needed because large segments of the local rural population had migrated to urban areas, the US or Canada, in the hope of a better life. But jobs were scarce in Poland, and Polish workers didn't cost much. They were lodged in barracks near the fields, and they had to work hard. Sugar still depended on migrants working under miserable conditions, just in a different form and somewhere else. But if you owned the land, you could get rich. This wealth is reflected in the magnificent main buildings at many of the manor estates dominating the Lolland and Schleswig-Holstein countryside. To this day, sugar beets are still one of the important crops of the western Baltic Sea region. The sugar refinery in Holeby has been selected as one of Denmark's 25 industrial memorials. The big boiling vessel is still fired up during the sugar beet season in Nakskov and Nykøbing Falster. Sugar is an important source of both livelihood and enjoyment. Across 10,000 years, and boundaries notwithstanding, products and new ideas are still flowing between peoples and cultures.